today we're going to make pumpkin cupcakes. The ingredients for this dish are flour, sugar, eggs, butter, baking powder, cinnamon, nutmeg, ginger, vanilla extract, powdered sugar, food coloring, and the star, pumpkin. I just used a pumpkin from my porch from Halloween, and that's what's going to make our pumpkin puree today. But you can use canned, that's fine too. So I've lined my cupcake pan with little papers, and I preheated my oven to 350 degrees. So I took my porch pumpkin and cut it in half, took the seeds out, and put it face side down on this baking tray lined with foil, and I cooked it for 2 hours at 400 degrees. If you want to see the start to finish on that, check out my Halloween pumpkin pie recipe, and I show you. For this recipe, I need 3/4 cups of pumpkin puree for the cake mix and 1/4 cup for my frosting. We need to puree our pumpkin. You can use a potato masher if you have one, or you can use your blender, food processor. But I do things the old-fashioned way because it's sometimes simpler than having to clean all that equipment. So if you come across a little piece of skin like this one, you want to take that out because that's going to taste like paper in your dish. I've gotten so many comments that the only kind of pumpkin you can use is a sugar pie pumpkin in your cooking, and that is just not true. I have made tons and tons of pumpkin dishes, and I just use the pumpkin I have around. Or you can use butternut squash, or all kinds of different pumpkins and squashes. And this is not going to go to waste in my household. I'm going to use a pumpkin I have left over from Halloween. Mash it until it's really soft. Let's mix our ingredients now. We start with 1 cup of sugar. And when I bake cakes, I always cream together my sugar and my oil or my butter. So I'm putting in 1/2 stick of butter with that, and we're going to mix that up. Make sure your butter is room temperature so it mixes with that sugar well. Now I'm going to add 3/4 cup of my pumpkin puree. Add 2 eggs. I'm going to add my spices now. So my proportion for my pumpkin pie spice is 1 teaspoon cinnamon with 1/2 teaspoon ginger and 1/2 teaspoon nutmeg. Now that's the proportions I use every time for anything that requires a pumpkin spice. Let's add 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So we're going to mix all our wet ingredients with some of those spices. I just hate to sift, so this is my trick. I'm going to dump in my 1 1/4 cups flour, and I'm going to kind of aerate it as it goes in, because aerating is what's really happening when you're sifting. So this recipe is really a dump and go recipe. Our 2 teaspoons of baking powder has to get mixed in that flour pretty evenly, so I'm going to cheat. Watch this. Here goes those 2 teaspoons of the baking powder, and look at that. I'm just going to shove it in there and kind of mix it around. So I'm going to mix that for about 1 to 2 minutes till it's thoroughly combined, and this is my cupcake batter. Looking good. So with an ice cream scoop, I'm going to put my batter in my little cups. This is the most handy dandy trick. And one of the reasons why you like to use the same measuring device in the same way, it's going to cook evenly in your oven. So they'll all be done at the same time. The rule of thumb is to fill them 2/3 the way up. And that's about exactly 1 ice cream scoop. Yay! Okay, I don't want to waste any, and I see I have a little bit left in the bottom of this mixing bowl. So I'm going to find it, and I'm going to stick it in the ones that are a little more scant. There you go. That was kind of scant. Give it a good eyeball and make sure they're pretty even. I'm stealing from Peter to pay Paul right now. Okay, I'm happy with this. Into that oven it goes. So depending on your oven, those are probably going to have to bake between 16 to 20 minutes. So check them after 16 minutes to see how they're doing. So to make that frosting, I'm using 1/3 cup of the pumpkin puree, and that goes in first. And let's make our pumpkin pie spice again. That's 1 teaspoon cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon nutmeg, and 1/2 teaspoon ginger. I want to mix this up. While that mixer's on low, I'm going to start to add my powdered sugar. So all together, that's 3.5 cups of powdered sugar. The moisture from the pumpkin puree is what's going to bind it all together to make the frosting. This is interesting because this is one frosting that I'm not using any butter, and usually I do. Mix that well and then scrape down the sides. You want to make sure all of that sugar is incorporated. So now we're going to add a food coloring to that. I'm using a little yellow and a little red because I want that beautiful orange color to really pop out on our frosting. So there is no specific science to this. Just give it a shot. Now look at that. Ooh, isn't that cool? That looks like just the outside of that pumpkin that I used to make it. I love that. That is so cool. That's the consistency you're looking for. Let's taste it now. Make sure it turned out good. It's really spicy. I like it. I've been checking, and my cupcakes took 20 minutes to bake. So I'm checking them now with a toothpick. Yes, finally, the whole house smells so good from these pumpkin cupcakes. Yummy. So let them thoroughly cool, because if not, your frosting is going to go all over the sides and get all runny. All right, I took them out of that pan and I scattered them about so they could cool faster. So let's frost. I do not like pastry bags, so I don't frost with them. You know, there's a lot of chefs out there that do, and God bless you. But for me, I just like to do it the old-fashioned way. When I was growing up, we just had a knife, and that was it. I'm always in it to win it, and winning it is getting that first bite in my mouth as fast as I can. If you like me, I hope you comment and you share me with your friends. And you know what? Let me know what your favorite cupcakes are. They are cute. They're like little mini pumpkins. I always make a little extra in my recipes for frostings because I always go through it. And all those other recipes never seem to have enough for me. I'm decorating them with half a pecan. Pecans are from the harvest too, just like those pumpkins. All right, let's try it. Oh my gosh, is that so cute? Love it. Oh man, I am telling you, this is the most moist pumpkin cupcake, like a pumpkin bread, except a little bit lighter. This could almost be a breakfast muffin too. Cheers, bon appetit, subscribe to my channel, and let's keep cooking.